Okay. Shall I
One sec.
share my presentation?
I want to say, first of all, welcome to everyone to today's short educational training on the pathways enhancements. Because, well, just about 2 weeks ago, a little bit less, um, Toastmasters, for its 101st birthday, rolled out a new educational, um, a new educational enhancement to pathways that includes several new things, and it's something that's important for everyone to know, whether you're an officer or not. And in order to help us understand what's new and how we navigate through all of it, I'd like to introduce our lead trainer for today, who is area director of A5 in our own district, Cristina Guglielmini. Cristina, take it away.
Okay, let's start first by just a second. But I'm trying to get it big. Can you see it? Because I can't make it bigger.
Are you able to share it? To do it as a slideshow? It will be at the bottom right.
Yes,
You see, there's like a little bit
okay,
further right.
I found it.
Yeah.
Okay, is it better?
Now it's good. Great.
Okay, so let's start. Now represented me, I'm Cristina, area director, area 5, which is Milan. Lovely weather today. And as also Laura said, recently there has been a change, yet another change in pathways, but one which I must say from the first things I've seen, I'm very happy about. And the purpose of tonight is to go through what the changes are and highlight and explain the main enhancements that we've had to pathways. And essentially, it's roles for all levels from 1 to 5, and for levels 3, 4, and 5, also some extra projects. One question, the sort of a change happened last week, if I'm correct, like the Tuesday or 2 weeks ago. That's very recent. So have you had the chance, not so much of looking at it, but have you completed as a member or approved as a VPE a level since the change? Have you done so? So raise your hand or put some your sort of first impression comments in the chat. And maybe Laura can read if any comments come on the chat, because I don't want to come
Yeah,
out
one
of
of
my
those said that the
screen.
VPE was confused about the additional requirements. There's one person already managed to get 3-level completions in just before the wire, someone said. So actually good thing. Someone said they approved level 3.
So you'll be happy to know that your sort of trainer or speaker tonight thought well of approving, sort of helping somebody who had to complete a level 1. I did it with this person because I wanted to be sure that what I was saying and going to tell you made sense. And my first impression is that it makes a lot of sense and it's easy, which is good. And I hope that you will find the same uh, as I did. Now, what will be important, especially for the officers of the clubs and the VPE, is to help people embrace this new thing to pathways. And I strongly believe in it because, after all, it doesn't change much from what we are already doing, and then we'll see why. Meeting roles are a part of a pathway experience because they help members grow as leaders and speakers. Especially if you think of a new sort of member, they start shyly with no timer or our counter, and through practicing, they start learning different areas of communication. Also in level 1, if you think about it, it's giving the feedback, it's evaluation, it's managing time, it's leading discussion. And also active participation, volunteering with roles, helps improve the meeting experience for all the club and the fellow members. Now, what do you need to know? And at the end, I'll give you some references where you can look. Now, there's a question and answer document, and there's also another document addressed to officers to explain what it's all about. Here, I've summarized some of the key points that you find in these documents. So what do you need to know? So first of all, the changes are available only for the 6 existing paths, not for the legacy paths. So for example, I have strategic relationship. There's nothing there. But engaging humor, which is one of the 6 paths, has this new role requirement. You will find this update reflected in each level of your path. For any level that has not been completed, you now will need to fulfill these requirements, marking the additional section as completed, then we'll see it. If instead one has already completed a level in the path, you don't need to do anything. It's only for levels that you have not done. One important thing is that the roles need to be fulfilled in the period on which you're working on a level. So you can't go back 5 years ago and said, okay, I was a timer, I'll put it in. It needs to happen in the calendar period of your level. And for each level, you can also record, and then we'll see how the roles that you have done with the dates when you did so. And as I mentioned before, on top of the roles, for the levels 3, 4, and 5, there are also requirements of the coming from the free Toastmaster education series. Here I have summarized for all the levels. On the left is a column which roles, and on the right which education series. So the roles, level 1, it's 3 roles: table topic, speaker, evaluator that anyhow you already had before with the speeches, and a choice of timer or counter. Now, in one of the documents it wasn't clear, but if you look on Basecamp, it's very clear that often it's a choice between one or another. So it's timer or a counter, one of the two. For level 2, 3, and 4, you have 4 roles, and it becomes slightly more demanding for the 5th level, where it's 7 roles that you have to cover. Some of them twice, like general evaluator, Toastmaster of the night twice, evaluator twice, and then a choice among the roles that you have stated there, like table topic speaker, grammarian, and also specialized role. Now, if you ask yourself what a specialized role is, it's roles that are not the standard ones like grammarian, accountant, timer. One example is HARC master, which I don't know if you've ever encountered. It's asking people questions about the whole meeting and the speeches they have listened and giving a prize. Or it could be the Zoom master. So roles that are covered only in some clubs, not all of them. The other thing, a requirement, is, as I said, for 3 levels, to also do some speeches. Coming from the the successful club series, the Better Speaker Series or the Leadership Excellence. And in one of the documents, there is a link that leads you to an explanation which projects are covered in each of these series. So as you see, and it's one of the charts which I'll show you at the end, it does require some planning, especially for level 5, which has 7 roles and 2 extra speeches of 10 minutes each. So it requires planning and thinking beforehand by both the member, but also the VP. It shouldn't be a problem, but you can't start in June thinking about it if you want to achieve your club success plan goals. At the beginning of each level, and here I'm showing level 1, you will find a checklist. So it's at the very beginning, you can see it on the left side. And then once you open it, you have the detail. I've put an arrow. This is level 1. So you see the usual things like icebreaker, writing a speech with a purpose, etc. Ones we already know in terms of speech. With an arrow, I've indicated where is the role, like participate as a table topic speaker before the icebreaker suggested, serve as an evaluator, which however is part of the feedback last project, and complete one additional role as a timer or counter. As you see, I've put on the right, important. It's important because the person which I helped complete the level had forgotten. So this person went to the very end, as usual, to complete the level. But if you haven't checked here what you have done, you can't complete the level. So remember that to go back here and check the box. As an example, before we had like the summary across all the levels of roles and speeches, here is a quick overview of level 1 with why it's recommended to have these roles covered by people doing their level 1. Of course, they can do many more roles, but these are important ones because they help the member build their quick thinking skills, like a table topic speaker. And it's nothing new, because if you think about it, both guests and new members start before even the icebreaker practicing speech with table topics. Evaluator, which again is part of what we already have in the level with the last project, which is speech and feedback and another speech, but it's also encouraged to act as an evaluator. And other roles that are recommended are timer and counter. So it's about quick thinking skills, time management, but also listening skills, giving feedback, and understanding the whole meeting. Level 5.
Cristina, I think there was a couple of questions here that would you like me to let you know now or at the end you want to answer it?
If there are questions, let's go through it here. Can you read them in the chat?
Yes. So of course. First question was, and they said, I don't see the specialized role on Basecamp drop-down.
Sorry? Could you repeat?
They didn't see where the specialized role in the Basecamp drop-down. There's like a drop-down that you can mark the different roles you did. And they don't see such an option for the specialized role, like the Park Master, Quiz Master.
Okay, maybe we can. They don't see the specialized role like a Park Master. Now, this, I can't remember how you sign it, but there is an option. So I might come back with a screenshot of where. No, sorry, I got it.
in the drop down?
So in the drop down, sorry, of level 1, you don't have it because you don't have a specialized role. If you go in a sort of like here we have level 5, which I was showing as an example. And as you see, you have sort of looking at the bottom, you have general evaluator, Toastmaster of the day, evaluator, then all the speeches that you have to do, and one additional row of sort of table topics chosen among these. And as you see, here you see specialized row. So when you look, as I showed here, sorry, I'll show it in the checklist completion, you will have stated sort of one additional role, and it will say timer counter specialized role. So you find it in the checklist.
Yep. And the other thing that was asked here, and I think in this case I can also answer it, which is what happens if a person forgets to give a table topic speech before their icebreaker, as we see here.
So
I don't think there is anything wrong as long as they do the table topics speech, you know, and they mark it that they did, because I think at this point it's a little bit harder to track, especially if it's someone who was a guest. Maybe you were a guest before and then you joined, you did table topics when you were a guest. You could potentially maybe.
So now, as I said before, here it sort of quite rightly recommends to do it before the icebreaker. And usually a table topic master, when they choose who to call, they sort of, we know sort of it's better to call an experienced member, call the guests, but also call sort of a younger, more junior members, so that they have the opportunity of being more active and starting practices. Now, so I think it's a responsibility of sort of the VPA and the table topic master to give this opportunity to a new guest, a new member. If it doesn't happen and it's done after the icebreaker, pity, but still sort of valid. So it's not a problem. So here I was showing level 5, which is the more demanding one, because on top of what we already had was one sort of required project and one elective project. Now we have 2 additional things: a choice of from the successful club series or the leadership excellence series. And each of these speeches is 10 minutes, plus the 7 roles. So some planning. I have to do a level 5, and I need to take paper and pen and a calendar and try and understand how it's going to be done. I won't go here in sort of the detail of the educational series. In the references I'll give you, you can then look at exactly what it includes. Some of you might already know all about it, but it's 3 of them. The Better Speaker series, which is it's between 10-15 minutes educational speeches that gives sort of a number of sort of tips on sort of being a speaker. The second one, which is Successful Club series, addresses the sort of the quality of club meetings and gives sort of tips about attracting and maintaining members. And the Leadership Excellence series is about developing and practicing skills in leadership. Now, roles, one possibility that you have now, how do you know which roles you have done? And I think there are many options. You have Easy Speak, and then we'll see about it. You have the agenda of the clubs, but you can also add them in your profile. So if on Toastmasters International, you click above the top part under your membership, you'll sort of, there you have see Cristina, if opening it, you see profile. you go into profile, and there you have another choice. The second choice is about. And if you look at sort of resources, which is one of the choices, then you have, no, sorry, not that. Then here you can add sort of the meeting roles that you have covered. So, and there's the drop down with the role and the date you have done it. So if you want, you can keep track here as a choice, and I think probably it's useful because it can simplify the VP sort of task. But so this is independent from completing the level. It's simply a logging of the roles if you find it useful. How to complete. So the step one, which is what I said before, which is very important, at the very top of your level, you have this checklist and completion, which we saw before. You need to tick there, and once this you've sort of completed, you sort of will click on the right, complete my requirements. So this is the first step that you need to do. And the last one is back to usual, is at the very bottom of your level one, you have a choice of completion. And if you are a member of more than one club, you select the club and then submit. If you haven't done this before, you can't, it won't accept it. It won't give you the choice of completing the level. The VP will sort of receive sort of the email and will need to check and confirm that you have completed all the meeting roles and the series presentation. I think it will be useful within the club to discuss this and or also discuss first in the XCOM and then with the members to clarify how you will keep track and how you will validate these items. So I would suggest that you take in one of your next meetings a 5-minute to sort of determine what are the rules of the game in your club and how it can be done easily. Now, Easy Speak. I've asked sort of who is managing Easy Speak, and it's still work in progress because the changes have been very, very recent. So soon, in the next few days, there should be some updates. So let's wait and what will come to us in terms of information. But you can already register, if needed, the sort of for the other levels, so 3, 4, 5, what are the extra speeches that are required. So the roles is one thing, the other thing is the speeches. When you go in the Easy Speak era, request a speech, and you have to put the speech title and state which speech and the dates. Under work book speeches, instead of choosing the path that you are already doing, click on Start a New Workbook. And then you have a full list. You need to scroll down till you lose your patience and say, where is it? And you find them. You find the 3 there. So the leadership projects, the club series, and somewhere else also, oh yes, it's above the Better Speaker series. So you find them, you open whatever you need, and there you will find the list of the projects under each series. So I don't know if there are any questions on this. So the 2 points are, 1, there should be some news soon. 2, you can already register the extra projects for the last 3 levels in the request a speech by starting a new workbook. Any questions, or I can go ahead? Maybe also at the end of the presentation, we can stop for any clarification. Now, my four pieces of advice is one, plan the year. Now, well, plan the half a year, both as a member and as a VPA. Now, this should be already done, but even more so now that you have these changes, it would be useful for everybody to step back and say, okay, what do I want to achieve this year? Do I need to finish a level 5? So I need to do 4 speeches. I need to cover 7 roles. And looking at the third point, which I should have put as second, don't wait last moment. So if you decide for level 4 or 5 in May, whether you're a club to achieve your club success plan, or if you remember because you want to finish that level, you can't do it. You need to plan it before upfront. The other thing, which is already a good, hopefully a good practice, is volunteer with joy upfront for roles. So I think this should encourage people even more to do something which is good for us as Toastmaster, as speakers and as leaders. Let's sort of encourage people for the good reason to volunteer for the roles. This refers to the page that I was mentioning before, which is at the beginning of each level, and that where you need to tick the roles you have done, because somebody already told me, there is a bug, I can't complete. It's not true, it's not a bug. The question is, did you remember to mark the checklist at the beginning of each level? I think this is very important to make clear to everybody. Resources available under sort of each level. When you have roles that you need to cover, they also have a link sending you to the description of each role. The other two things that I suggest reading is one, the frequently asked questions. You have both the link and then the QR code and the officer guide to these enhancements. So, question and comments.
I'm answering some of the comments. It's a common question. So that people are asking, okay, what if I'm working between the different, and you can stop sharing so that we can see a little bit easier. So if people are, for example, jumping between paths, or sometimes you're doing a level 5 project while you're still in level 3.
Sorry, just a second. Let me get out of. I don't need to. Yeah, so it's much better. Listening now.
One of the questions was, and here I'm kind of trying to answer at this moment, because I'm typing real quick and trying to do both. People are saying, okay, what if I did, I was a general evaluator and I needed for level 4, but I did general evaluator months ago. Well, if you were level 4 when you did general evaluator all those months ago, yes, it can count. If you were general evaluator, but you're still on level 2, for example, then no, it cannot count. You'll have to be general evaluator again. C'est la vie. Them's the rules. If you're working, for example, on several different paths, on one you're on level 1, for the other one you're level 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, you choose which of the roles goes to which of the levels. Like you can't do, oh, I was timer, so I'm going to be timer for both this level and this level, for both paths. That being said, maybe for that you could potentially actually do it, right? But the thing is, you only get one path completion at a time, nonetheless. And usually, if it's 2 paths you're working on the same level, the requirements will be different. Another question that we got, and this one I haven't had a chance, and I'll read it out. How much do presentations from the new projects differ from each other for example, the Successful Club series, the Better Speaker series, because one club officer was concerned that this means that members must give the same speech again and again.
Oh, looking at sort of the list, and what I suggest is that when you have time, you go and look at the full list that is under each series. I don't think you're really repeating much. So I wouldn't, it's not a point that concerns me. So I don't know if any of you have already had the chance of covering, and I see Rudolph shaking his head, sort of. I don't think it should be an issue, no? Okay. Any other questions? I was looking also at the chat. So I think in the end, from sort of looking at this enhancement, helping somebody complete the level, thinking of the reason why it has been done and how it's been done, I feel pretty comfortable that it brings added value and focus on something that is important, especially for the newer members. And it's extremely sort of easy to handle on Pathways and track both on Pathways and Easy Speak.
Yes. By the way, we got another question, which is, can we register roles from the past, or is the system checking for data consistency? So that answers that is the same thing. It's like you should be doing the levels that you're on, the roles where you're in the current level. The thing is, and I can say this, I tried the system just to see whether it let me do, a role from the previous time, and it didn't stop me. So at the moment, you might be able to mark it. It's just that this is, and they say it very clearly, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing only from the rules. It's in their FAQ, and it's kind of in the rules. It's like you shouldn't be doing that. So maybe there will be a rollout of that feature in the future. And of course, not to mention, and Zgittel and I was about to mention, integrity, right? If they say, hey, please be doing all of this, it is your word again, right? And it is your integrity. But I think that the system doesn't actually technically stop you. At least I haven't seen it stop me when I tried just to play around with it.
But no, the system doesn't stop you, but sort of the rules are very clear that you should be sort of covering, which I stated at the beginning, and it's in one of the documents. You should be covering the required roles in the period where you're working on that level.
Mm-hmm. Integrity, right?
So
we have a question from Robert.
Yeah, Laura, I'm the president. I will support this. I will present it well. But you just brought up integrity, and I'll just point out that if I am working on level 3 and I've been asked to be an evaluator 4 times, I am going to select, as long as it lets me, I'm going to select or point out that I have been an evaluator for 4. I'm going to do that because it's not a matter of integrity. It's a matter of doing the work and getting the value out of it. The degree to which the system is requiring a specific marching order for my development, I'll admit I have some problems with. Like I said, in my club, they won't hear any of this. But among us here who are first hearing about it, it's the degree to which the organization has decided how I should move forward is something that I kind of wish there had been more discussion about it before it was rolled out, because I apologize for being the a negative voice here, but it doesn't align with my desire to see Toastmasters supporting members as they need to be supported or want to be supported. Yeah.
In one of the beginning, the chart that I put, I see your point, Robert. But in the chart that I put at the beginning, the reason of a change, there is our development, let's say, as members. I put myself as a member. And what I need to do to progress. And certainly, so level 1 sort of requires certain things which are different from level 5. However, there is the other part, which is not only about your development, which is what you were mentioning, but also the benefits for the club in all the members. So if I take your example, evaluator, and evaluator I was looking is required level 1 for certain reasons, but then you have it also, you mentioned level 3, 4, and 5. Here there are benefits for the whole community of a club, because the more senior you become and more experienced, you are helping other people grow through being an evaluator. So I see it as sort of in a positive way because of this reason, which is not only about the benefits of your growth, but also helping others, like a mentor. So I don't know if this partly sort of answers your sort of perplexities.
So yeah, I actually love I really love well-designed structures that help people navigate their growth. I just believe that that flexibility is appreciated, especially by adult learners, so that they can progress as works best for them. And I do believe we're going to see a lot of people choosing to be flexible as long as the system will allow them, so that they can advance as a way that works well for them. I think there's going to be a lot of that happening, and more now because the requirements are significantly greater.
I think it's just been introduced. As we go on, I hope there'll be the opportunity of giving feedback and seeing what can be improved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll, just thinking operationally here, and this is just, people are already participating anyway, or at least we want to encourage people to participate and be not just always give a speech, right? And always be, we want to ensure that the club benefits, right? The district mission is to build new clubs and support clubs in achieving excellence. And clubs achieve excellence when the members are helping the club achieve excellence. Like, it's from the members. And if someone is coming in to do only speeches, it's maybe good for a lot of like very good personal development for a brief amount of time. But in the long run, you're probably not going to stay that long. And we want people to also stay. And once they're more involved, and they're already more involved, right? You are going to be timer. You are going to be a counter and Toastmaster and table topics master and so forth, especially when you get into the more advanced projects where you're stuck there for months on end. You're going to be taking on the other roles anyway, often. So I think I don't think that operationally it'll be too different. Not too, it might be a little bit different, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be very similar. However, it's just a thought. We'll have to see how it progresses as this is rolled out. I can say that this harkens back to the old days, because you used to have to do this, but again, this is what we have. This is what we need to work with to make the best of, so that we do it for ourselves, but as club officers and district officers too, of course, we want to always think about how the club benefits as a whole in this particular
Yeah.
case.
And if I can add a point, I didn't put numbers. I love numbers, but I said, okay, I can't give numbers to people at 7:30 in the evening. And flexibility is in the numbers. So go back, take a piece of paper, a calculator. If you look at how many meetings you have in a year, how many members, you look also at the club success plan minimum requirements in terms of roles and speeches. In the end, from July to June, which is the full period, now we're starting in November, there are so many options in terms of roles and speeches that it shouldn't be a problem. It doesn't, the system is not that rigid as it appears. It's the first thing I did. I said, okay, if it's level 4, requires 2 extra speeches and 7 roles, and then you have level 4 and level 3, you have 2 people. I said, oh my God, we won't manage. I did the maths, and for me, there's still flexibility.
Right. I see there's a question from Gaia.
Mhm.
I'm trying to understand the question. Could
Yes,
you
I was reading as
precise
well.
when a leadership role is ordering in a level after the completed ones, after the first delivered speech in that level?
I'm not sure that I'm clear, but I don't think leadership excellence is in level 5. So my interpretation would be that it doesn't really matter when you register, as long as you register within level 5, no? I don't know if I understood the
Every
question.
role?
I think she's talking about the other meeting roles like tabletop, it's
Oh, the
master.
regular.
Oh, sorry, you're right. No.
So you need to record whenever you take on that meeting role, whenever you take it, right? And if it's during the time that you did that particular level, then it counts for that level as well. So if you have to be a Toastmaster, then you can count it for that level as long as you did.
Because in pathways, it's only when you need to bring to closure, complete a level that you tick. I've done this, and this.
Yeah.
Of course, it's you need to cover those roles in a period of time, but you don't necessarily need to record them. For it's better you do in order that you don't forget, especially if you are a certain age like myself. But it's you can do it on a piece of paper. You do it in the profile. You have it in Easy Speak. You have the agenda, or in the completion thing.
Yeah, it's not connected.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, the pathways one and the Basecamp one and the one on the profile are not connected.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say if there are no other question, but you can always drop them, maybe send them to Laura or also to myself if you find my email, and I'll be happy to answer them. And so there'll be also registration, you were saying, on YouTube, you know?
Yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube. So Gaia actually she asked the question. So she finished the first 3
Okay.
levels. Now she has to do the 4th level. May she register the roles from September for level 4? So no, technically, because you're supposed to be doing the ones that well, that depends on when you started level 4. If you started level 4 in September or even before that, then sure, record them. If you started level 4 just now, like within the past week, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Laura, doesn't it actually make sense to say you can log them as soon as you've finished level 3? Because once she's finished level
yeah.
3, everything she's doing is toward level 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
depends on when she started level 4. If you started level 4 in September, yeah, that definitely can count. If you started level 4 yesterday, then no, not anymore. Yes, you can do all from the completion of level 3. All right. Yes, now I really think there aren't. I think we exhausted this this particular subject, and I'm not really sure if there are any other questions. Again, if you are a club officer, and you haven't messaged that you are a club officer of whatever clubs you are, please send me a message and I'll record you for the club officer training. And with that, I want to first of all thank Cristina for a great educational training on all these enhancements, because as we can see,
My
clearly
pleasure.
there's a lot of confusion. It's not easy, yeah, and this is just on Pathways itself, a base camp. So, so thank you, Cristina, and I want to thank everyone here who came and attended. I hope you came out knowing more. Always, if you have any questions, please don't be afraid. We're here to answer your questions. You can either contact me at pqd@district109.org, or of course your area directors, your division directors. This is what the district officers are here for. We're here to help you. And I don't believe there's anything else. So thank you, everyone, and see you all
Good
in the next
night.
one.
Thank you.